We should probably use like one of the bigger lighting kits to get like a really big spotlight. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What, are you stuck? Oh no, man. Ghost! What is this?
Damn it!
Why did you fucking let the door close?
That wasn't my fault. You closed it on me.
Let the door close.
What are we gonna do now?
They did this on purpose. Guaranteed. Totally on purpose. Has to be.
Oh, Lauren, what are we gonna do? Dr. Lewis is gonna be pissed. We said we were gonna host this week, and I'm gonna fail the class. I'm not gonna show up. I don't know what to do.
Dude, you gotta start working out.
Hello everyone and welcome to 401 Sunset. I'm Thomas Santoro.
And I know how to open unlocked doors.
And this is Lauren Hedges. She's a really good person and probably my best friend.
No, don't touch me.
Ooh.
Seriously though, I'm really glad we made it through that whole ordeal we were in, you know? I'd feel so bad for anyone else.
Yeah, that would be pretty awful.
Yeah, mostly bad.
Not good.
No, but luckily for you and I, we got through it because we are survivors. And speaking of, Essex Windsor EMS recently hosted their annual Survivor Day. So let's take a look at what happened there.
Trying to save lives, eh?
We are so sorry. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, we'll try that one. Try that one again. Yeah?
On December 12, 2013, John Conrad's wife called 911 for his stubbed toe. When paramedics arrived, John was experiencing the beginning stages of a heart attack. Thanks to that phone call and the well-trained emergency staff who responded, John is still here today.
Well, actually, I was looking forward to this day for many different reasons, but one of the main ones was I knew Jerry from being the first responder, and I was still lucid when he got to my house. Jerry also came to see me the day I was being discharged. But Trevor and Mike, I never knew your names, and I never knew how to get in touch with you or who was involved. Now I get a chance to meet them all, so it's been a very special day.
On Friday, February 27th, Essex Windsor EMS held their 4th annual Survivor Day, where paramedics, 911 dispatchers, and hospital staff are able to meet these people whose lives they have saved.
It was fantastic to see 60 survivors kind of recognized and all the work that went into saving them, and really recognized all of those people that had a role to play in them having a chance at leaving the hospital.
I just kind of think that it is part of our job. We're just out there doing our job and doing whatever we do for anybody, and this just happens to be one of those types of calls that makes quite an impact on somebody else.
Our dispatchers and firefighters and paramedics, they never ever get to meet these people. They're sometimes not awake, right? So they never really see them. They don't know who it was, and so for our families to have a chance to see who it was and meet them, and also for our paramedics to kind of say hi, and talk to them and have closure, and also recognize what they're doing every day is just so important, and because we forget, you're looking at, you're working, you're solving a problem, you're treating patients, but you forget what it's all for, and to actually meet them and say, wow, we did all of that, and wow, this person is a family, and look at them now, So I think today brings all those themes together, right?
To see how it's evolved, and Kathy's done an awesome job with organizing things. I had a good idea of how it was going to be, but I didn't think it was going to be this elaborate. And it's nice to see, everybody get together and finally meet each other.
And it seems like it's growing every year, and more people are getting saved, and more people are showing up and being part of this event. So, yeah, it's growing, and I think it's a great thing for everybody.
We've got someone that organizes it who's like a cerebral giant, Kathy Hedges, It's kind of like, the rest of us are here and she's like here, and she just puts the heart and soul into this and pulls a day like today together. And I think if she's around, we're gonna have these things again.
Gotta give it to EMS survivors. They just don't quit.
I admire their willpower and really loved that last bit.
This next segment, though, it's gonna be pretty rad.
Although some of the words are kind of bad.
This is about the life of a girl who wants to have it made.
So enjoy the biography of Oakley Shades.
Yes! That took us like 15 tries. We finally got it. We are the best rhymers.
Amazing.
So good.
So good.
Here it is. Enjoy.
You know the West Coast is back for all you. You know the West Coast is back for all you. You know the West Coast is back for all you. You know the West Coast is back.
Yo, I ain't from the West Coast, but I'm from the East Side. In Windsor, Ontario is where I reside. Rolling up in my Honda CRV. Yeah, that's my mother. Right, I ain't sorry.
Yo, what's up? My name is Lauren Oakley, aka Trap Killer, aka Tree of Life, aka Professor Oaks, aka Oakley, aka Tokley, aka Jokley, aka White Nicki Minaj, aka Girl Eminem, aka Oakley Shades, aka King Third, aka 50 Shades of Oakley, and I'm a product of Windsor, Ontario. I've been rapping for as long as I can remember. I don't know, 6 weeks. I aspire to inspire, you know what I'm saying? The thing is Windsor has a scene, but it's not my scene, you know what I'm saying? Metal and hipsters and shit. Nah, I'm heavily influenced by the crew in Detroit, I'm repping for the D. R.I.P. economy. But they spit it real, I spit it real. I rep my city though. Windsor, West Side. West Windsor. www.doubleentendre, Dr. Dre, Andre 3000. Shout out, Hove! What's next for me? I've been reaching out to other artists, trying to get a feature. It's good for exposure. Oh, Bizarre just messaged me. He wants to work with me. Maybe. But, there's always going to be haters everywhere you go. And, the hater's going to hate. And the player's going to play. But I'm just going to shake it off. Because if you want to hate me, then you.
1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4, 5 quarter-ish, and I need 2 quarters more. What do I do? Should have thought of this before. 5 minutes to get to class.
Lauren's been a student in my class, and I was kind of shocked to find out that instead of taking notes, she's writing rap. I can't believe that.
That's right. I wasn't really appreciate, especially she make fun of me.
Yeah, she should definitely follow her dreams. Yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah.
She wrote a diss track about me. She wrote a diss track about me. I'm right up there with Donald Trump and Barry Bonds, Nas, Jay-Z. So that's cool. I mean, it's totally embarrassing, but it's just kind of hot.
Oh my God, Lauren's parents work at Chrysler. What is she thinking doing a rap career? She was emo in high school with bangs and ugh, fail.
She said, what? Let me tell you about her in high school, man. She was a
From afar, I see a white slip in my window. Kidding me?
So Thomas, you were a lyrical abuse victim. That must have been interesting.
It was a dark time in my life, definitely. But I bounced back. I'm like Tupac and Coachella. I'm okay. I'm still here. So that's good.
What exactly did she call you?
Well, in addition to all the cuss words, which I didn't even know that many existed, I had to Google them all. But the worst thing definitely had to be a poodle snap wagon.
And what's a poodle snap wagon?
Well, basically, it's when you're so faced that your own mother has to kitchen dinner, Keanu Reeves, that your dad leaves you.
Wow, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it's straight from Google. It's a weird world out there.
Well, up next, we're going to take a look at the University of Windsor's digital journalism program and their brainchild, the 30.
Okay, guys, we're going to run to A in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Run to A. Cue talent.
The 30.ca is a hyperlocal news site that's produced by digital journalism students at the University of Windsor.
And we post all kinds of news from arts and entertainment, sports, city news, county news, videos, podcasts, articles.
After the dissolvement of the Executive Council April last year, the UWSA was forced to continue operating without a student government until another election could be held.
I'm here at the CAW for the first time in 10 years. Pro wrestling has come to the University of Windsor. The UWSA has held the event and has been live since 7 o'clock.
We're here at the 2015 North American International Auto Show in Detroit. With many car manufacturers in attendance, we hope to discover the future of automobiles.
We are students, but I think we should be held to the same degree that you would hold professionals, because that's really what we're trying to emulate here.
It is absolutely intended to be a news site. We view ourselves as being yet another source for news and information in this community. We are competitive, we like to think, with other journalism programs in the city, for example, but also with radio, television, and even the Windsor Star. We have, in fact, broken some stories.
Our goal on the 30.ca is to make sure that the students are being heard, and that we do want to be a site that the public can come to actually get news. It's not a joke site. It's not just for students to, learn how to write and post videos. That's part of it, but we do encourage the students to go out and get actual news stories.
Hold us to the same degree that you would hold any other news site. If we have typos, if we have biased writing in an article, feel free to comment that kind of stuff, because really, you can't keep democracy without free speech, and that's why we want people in the community to get involved with this, because there's nothing more rewarding as a journalist than when you have people sharing your stories or reading it or commenting on it.
And I'm happy to report that some of my former colleagues in journalism are quite complimentary, one of whom told me a couple of weeks ago that he actually stole a story off the 30.ca. So there's nothing that makes a journalist proud of his work, and I'm obviously proud of the work our students do, when you hear that someone has, the expression is, scalped a story from you, and indeed that's happened with the 30.ca.
A new provost at the University of Windsor next month. But how does this actually affect the school? Reporter Jess Kramer went out to get the scoop on what a provost is and what they do for a university.
When the bureaucracy, let's call it, spit out our course code, it was 30, and I looked at it and I said, well, that's interesting, because 30 is an old journalistic expression. Back in the old days of print, and there still is a print industry, but back in the early days of print, -30- meant end of story. So you would see it at the end of a newspaper story. You even see it today at the end of news releases, -30-. So we said, well, this is great. It's a fortunate coincidence. It's a journalistic expression. It's also our course code.
Okay, guys, we're going to run to A in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Run to A. Cue talent.
Good afternoon, Windsor. I'm Laura Hedges, and this is the 30s newscast for Friday.
Lauren, I think that's an interesting concept they have there with the 30.
You're right. I'm glad to see people who take journalism seriously. BuzzFeed is not journalism. We need real journalists.
I think you're right. And I think it's up to people like us to step up, to take charge and change that situation.
You know what? I think that's what exactly we're going to do. Welcome to 401 Sunset's Weekday Update, the best place to catch up on world news.
Brains across the globe exploded last week when an image of a trippy dress went viral on the internet. The question of the year, is it black and blue or is it white and gold? Scientists came back with an explanation. Go outside!
A few llamas escaped in Arizona last week, exciting women in visors and giving Fox News anchors a chance to show off their talent. That's the punchline, Fox News anchors having talent.
Tinder, dating service, recently introduced a rewind button, meaning that if you pay $11.99 and you accidentally dislike a person or swipe left, you have a chance to press a rewind button and another chance to regain her heart. Now, while a button like that may be able to fix a quick regret, it doesn't fix the regret of paying to use Tinder.
More on sexual regret. The woman who was live streaming sex shows in Windsor libraries has been caught, thus proving that the main goal of Windsorites is to do something stupid enough to end up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Teaching assistants and contract workers at the University of Toronto and York University recently went on strike, which has been causing massive frustration for students in and around the Greater Toronto area. To that we say, hey, U of T, York, give us a call. You Windsor students have become experts at dealing with strikes.
Nerds everywhere mourn the loss of Mr. Spock, everyone's favorite human-Vulcan hybrid. I personally question who will show up to give away important plot points in the next Star Trek reboot. Canadians especially have been honoring Nimoy's legacy by drawing his likeness onto $5 bills. The Bank of Canada has responded by saying this is not illegal, just highly illogical. Rest in peace, Leonard Nimoy.
You know, Lauren, I'm not sure this whole news anchor thing is really what we're cut out for. I mean, especially with you.
Yeah, you might be right. Well, while we contemplate our life choices, let's learn about Gordon Monohan.
My name is Gordon Monohan. I'm a sound artist and composer. Two early works of mine, Piano Mechanics and Speaker Swinging. They're both very different pieces, but at the same time they share a common approach to exploring certain types of sound phenomena. For instance, Piano Mechanics is a piece for solo grand piano that is not treated in a traditional way, but rather treated as a machine for the synthesis of sound. I've developed certain playing techniques to elicit unique sound wave properties out of the instrument so that it no longer sounds like a piano, it sounds like an electronically generated machine. The other piece is Speaker Swinging, which originates from the same time period, the early 1980s, when I developed both of these pieces. Speaker Swinging is a piece for 3 swinging speakers swung by performers and 9 audio oscillators which are controlled live by myself. Speaker Swinging is an exploration of the Doppler effect, which is a scientific term that describes the changing of tone and frequency due to the movement of a sound source. So that as the sound source, which is the speakers, swinging around in circles, as they come towards you, the frequency goes higher. As it go away from you, the frequency goes lower. The frequency itself is not necessarily changing unless I'm changing it manually at the sound source of the oscillators, but rather the movement of the speakers change the frequency because of their movement in relation to the listener's ears. In addition, the piece is about exploring a room and architecture of a room as an instrument itself. So in fact, the room and the swinging speakers become a very large musical instrument. The other thing about this piece is that it can be somewhat threatening to the audience. It's not dangerous, but there's an implied danger because the speakers are swinging around. That creates a certain level of fear. At the same time, there's a hypnotic repetition of the swinging and the tones moving around, which is rather seductive and soothing. So there's this polarity between the implied threat of violence and the soothing seduction of the hypnotic movement and sound, which sets up a tension, not in musical tension, but rather a kind of theatrical tension, a performative tension. And I originally suspended them from a ceiling and swung them like pendulums, which was sort of interesting, but still not interesting enough in the performance sense. And it wasn't until after some time, a good friend of mine, Brian Dines, we were talking one night about this, and the suggestion came up, well, why don't I swing these speakers around my head? And together we sent the speaker sort of out the window of the house we were living in to the driveway next door, and Brian got out and swung the speaker, and I was playing records over it and listening to the whole thing, and knew immediately, okay, this is what the origin of the piece.
Stop.
What?
When we said you could be hosts for this week, this is not what we meant.
Well, we don't have a musical act. Something went wrong, so I just figured we'd do it ourselves.
Okay, can we just introduce the next segment already?
I already did my vocal warm-up.
Thomas!
Okay.
So I guess on that note, we'll take a look at a recent campus event, the Celebration of Nations.
My name is Basa Deshtiak. I'm the coordinator for Celebration of Nations 2015.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Haidar. I am the UWSA president. Celebrations of Nations events is definitely one of my favorite events that we have on campus. It's an opportunity for students from a variety of cultures and countries to come and showcase what exactly it is that makes them unique. It's an opportunity to celebrate the differences between different countries and to really showcase the talent that we have. The University of Windsor is so unbelievably diverse and multicultural, and we have so many talented students. This is a platform where these students can come out and really present their unique traditions, dances, and their clothing wear as well.
As you guys saw, we had various cultures come together under one roof, represent their identity, represent their culture. We had various performances from different cultures as well. Students came and represented their nations, their respective cultures, their identities.
If somebody missed out on today's event, honestly, I would tell them you missed out on a wonderful event. Today's event is so unbelievably fantastic, and you missed out on the opportunity to meet so many new people, to learn so much about different countries, cultures, and traditions. I don't want to be one of those people that say I didn't have a favorite part because the entire thing was my favorite part. But to be completely honest, I would have to say it was seeing different students from different backgrounds really interacting with one another. People's friendship circles really growing, students going and learning about different traditions. All those encompassed in one really made it a very favorable event. It was so fantastic to see students from different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds to come and introduce themselves to other students and really put one hand together and proceed forward with collective relationships and love for all. And the organizing staff and the coordinators and the committees really put up so much effort and dedication to this, and today they really did an excellent job, and all the audience members and the performers did an excellent job.
At the end, it was worth it, definitely. But honestly, this took at least like 2-3 months of planning, from making up the schedule to writing the script. So it wasn't a one-day job, but like at the end of the day, it worked out perfectly and it was worthwhile, definitely. this event, I feel bad for them. Honestly, I feel bad for them. But you know what? There's always second chances. We believe in second chances, and we're going to be back next year again around the same time. And we're going to come back with a bang, and hopefully it'll be bigger and better than this year.
I can appreciate other cultures, for sure.
Oh, me too, Lauren. And I gotta say, I'm especially a big fan of pad thai.
Oh, hell yeah. Those people over at Basil Court know how to make a mean pad thai.
We'd like to thank Basil Court for catering us today. We really appreciate that. We're excited to start eating. And I gotta say, I haven't eaten since I got to set. So, without further ado, I am diving in.
Hey, look everyone, free food!
Hey, whoa, guys, hold up. How do you can't just rush in like, I mean, I did shoddy it, so
well,
I'm gonna
I don't know about that. I mean,
Wait a minute. What about me?
What
Ralph
about-
gets one too.
Oh, come. Are you?
Well, I guess that's it for 401 Sunset today. Thanks for tuning in or whatever.
Have a good night, I guess. The hot sauce. Night, everybody.